You survived your most recent sleep cycle. Hello. Captain. It is to see you.
Now is the time for diplomacy.
You're human. Oh, pardon my ignorance. We just didn't expect to find people out here. We didn't think anyone else left Earth before us.
Well, I'll be. This is like a time capsule. Except with living, breathing people. We have got to explore this ship.
Perhaps we should greet our guests.
Of course. Manners. I'm Captain Diana Brackenridge. This is Security Officer Bomani Reader. And this is Dr. Mabuti da Costa, one of our elders.
A pleasure to meet you.
I see. As you may have presumed, we're in a bit of a bind. Our ship has finally completed its near 200-year journey from Earth, only to find our new home seemingly colonized by... well, we don't know. Communications haven't been successful, so your arrival is fortuitous. Perhaps you'd be willing to act as a middle person between ourselves and... the others. Ah, your question confirms one of our recent theories. It would seem that some form of faster-than-light travel or space-bending technology was invented during our long journey. That would explain why we would find people this far out into space. I guess technology leapfrogged us at some point. Interesting. I can only imagine that our predecessors didn't believe the technology would ever work, and so they made the decision to leave when they did. Well, the short answer is, we didn't. It's a generation ship, which is to say that most of us lived long, happy lives on board and passed our mission down to our children. It was never intended that the original crew would make it to our destination. The goal was always the preservation of the human race, above all else. Though, it would seem that was perhaps a bit presumptuous. We do. Well, sort of. We saw structures using our surveying equipment. We've also seen the various ships pass us by. Some even seemed to want to communicate, but couldn't. Of course, we had no idea that they were being piloted by other humans. Oh yes, of course. Where are my manners? Now then, please follow me. There's much to discuss first. We'll speak more on the matter once we reach the bridge. Dr. da Costa, you may return to your quarters if you wish.
Thank you, Captain.
I will follow you to the bridge, ma'am, for security purposes.
I do not believe we have need to fear our guest, but I'll allow it if you insist.
Just
Welcome to
stay
the
out
Earth
of
colony
trouble.
ship Constant. In the early 2100s, my ancestor, Rupert Brackenridge, researched a number of scientific scenarios: climate change, asteroid impact, nuclear war, global pandemic. Each scenario showed the likelihood of an extinction event even. We've always assumed that's what happened. So, he gathered the best and brightest he could find, built the Constant, and set a course for this planet here. We were told that it was the largest, most advanced ship ever constructed on Earth at the time.
We were never trained
If
to
you can
address
believe,
threats coming
entire
from outside our
generations
ship.
born, lived, and died on this ship. It really goes to show that there are no limits to human ingenuity and perseverance.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers. Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on out.
This whole place belongs in a museum. Heck, it is a museum.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived. Careful waving that fancy gun around. You don't need to.
Imagine all those faces staring at you every night. No pressure, right?
We've got strict rules around here. They're strict for a reason.
Our people's safety is my #1 priority.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that. Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting from here on out.
No matter what the future holds, I think I'll always be more comfortable in space. Hey! So it is true. An actual stranger aboard our ship? Wow. Oh, geez. Sorry, of course you don't know my name. We never met. I'm Yue. Wow, I never thought this would happen. Sure. Well, unless there's anything else you want to talk about. Oh, I'm the navigation officer, though I switch between nav and piloting. I'll be honest, the ship pretty much flies itself. Its destination hasn't changed since it launched, and we're here now, so... I'm not sure what's next. It's incredible. I'm pretty excited to meet new people and ask them all sorts of questions. I wonder about all we've missed this whole time while humanity has advanced around us. See, the nav system's not perfect. We encounter stuff that our forebears didn't originally count on. Astral bodies, space debris, stuff like that. So sometimes I need to take manual control and get out of tricky situations. Then there was the time I used those unaccounted for anomalies to our advantage. Slingshotted us around a few stars that weren't supposed to be there, saved some fuel and knocked a few decades off our journey. Pretty incredible stuff. See, the nav system's not astral bodies, space debris. Then there was the time he slingshotted us around a few stars that weren't supposed to be. Take care of yourself out there, eh?
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived. Just stay out of trouble. Just because our equipment's old, doesn't mean it won't work to take down troublemakers.
There's so much to learn about now. I wonder what else is out there.
Careful waving that fancy gun around. You don't need to see what it can do. We got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason. We were never trained to address threats coming from outside our ship.
We've got strict rules around here, but they're strict for a reason.
And to think, all this time, we thought we were alone.
Sure is nice to know there are other people out there.
If the other colonists knew how many times the constant almost came apart at the seams. Whew. Thankfully, I never let it. I was hoping to talk to our visitor from outer space, and here you are! Welcome, welcome! I have a million burning questions, but I won't overwhelm you. There will be plenty of time for that later. Please, indulge me just a couple. How did you do it? Did humanity finally discover faster than light travel and eclipse our poor old ship? I knew it. It's incredible! I read about this technology in our archives from Earth, but it was only theoretical back then. Amazing! I'll have to learn more. Oh, I've got so many questions, but I'm being rude. I haven't even given you my name. Chief Engineer Kazemi, but you can call me Amin. And, I might add, I'm one of the reasons we're still floating out here today. Yes, of course. Anything for my new friend. Many years ago, when I was a junior engineer, the reactor's computer burned out. The computer that controls the reactor's various regulators. I'll spare you the details, but when that happens, the ship and everyone on it is in danger of turning into a mess of hot slag. I had to jury-rig parts from old media devices to prevent a meltdown. And that's how I became the boss around here. Some may say I'm a master of keeping things together with nothing but duct tape and bubblegum. Well, if we had any gum left. Pretty sure that ran out 100 years ago. When I'm not dealing with catastrophic engine failures, I manage the other engineers. We maintain all the machinery, computers, you name it. We keep the life support on. and the ship flying. Ah, great question. I do not know for sure, but I can venture a guess. All of the reading I've done on the matter suggests that at the time, there was uncertainty that the technology would ever work, or if it did, that it would work at the scale we needed. So, I trust they made the decision to strike out when they did, fully believing it was the only way. Yes! So many! Does everyone have their own spaceships like you? Do people only live on naturally habitable planets, or did they learn to terraform? Are we in contact with alien species? I have so many more, but I don't want to take up all your time. I'm not surprised. The amount of energy it would take to terraform an entire planet seems improbable. I can assume these types of colonies are strictly for mining and gathering rare resources, since there are nearly limitless habitable planets to choose from out there. Disappointing, but not unexpected. When you showed up, I tried to tell the others about the Fermi paradox. I suggested that the most likely explanation for you was that humanity had developed faster, more advanced technology and had leapfrogged us. Seems I was right. Haha! I knew it! Incredible! Amazing! Simply amazing! In our ancestors' time, only the very wealthy could afford to build ships. Even this ship was only possible by our families pulling together nearly all of their financial resources. Ah, thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I can have a bit of a big personality, I'm told. So let me know if I ever get on your nerves. Careful not to touch anything on your way out.
My entire life in the constant. Not sure how else to live.
Wow. Hi! The Constant is a peaceful ship. Don't change that.
Wow, I've heard about you, but here you are.
Just because our equipment's old doesn't mean it won't work to take down trouble force.
These are exciting times, aren't they?
Hey.
Never seen a ship like yours before. Then again, I haven't seen any ships before you arrived.
I wonder what it's like out there beyond our little community.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of alien or something.
Hey there.
And to think, all this time we thought you were alone.
Keeping track of all our supplies is more difficult than you might think. Hi there. Oh! Nice to meet you. And that's true. As you can imagine, everyone kind of just knows each other around here. Meeting new people isn't really a thing for us. Right? We've been cooped up together in this ship all our lives. So outside of births, there's literally no way for new people to arrive, you know? Anyway, sorry for freezing up before. I just didn't expect our visitor from the outside to stop by and chat with me. I figured, if anything, you'd be with the captain. I'm Daisuke, the ship's provisions manager. I'm not sure what I can offer you, but if I can help, I will. And if not, I'm happy just to talk. We manage. I know back on Earth, there used to be stores all over the place. Some that even specialize in specific types of goods, if you can imagine. But here, this is it. We have very limited supplies. Most of our stuff is recycled. Even the food. In a roundabout way. If you know what I mean. It works out for the most part. Because it has to. You'll sense a running theme with that around here. Not really. Things don't work that way here. It's not a shop like you hear about in the books and movies, or, where you're probably from. Almost everything is communal or shared in some way, but sometimes people want a little something extra or special for themselves. So when that happens, they come to me. Mostly, I just keep track of the ship's inventory and help ration the supplies so we don't run out.
What do you think people out there eat? Do you
Take
think they
care.
eat the same stuff we do?
Sure. They must.
Boy, am I glad you weren't some sort of
Maybe even
alien or something. Wow, I've heard about you, but
Got to.
here you are.
They're so advanced that they just synthesize everything.
something. But everything.
Careful waving that fancy gun around. We don't need to see what it can do.
Hi. Now that we know what's out there, things are going to be more interesting. Well, hi.
It's almost time to take inventory of our stock again.
Hey there.
I've lived my entire life in the Constant. I'm not sure how else to live.
Miss Yang said we are experiencing history right now, and that there will be books written about us. I'm gonna be in a book.
So many people out there. I thought we were alone. Hello there. Given that I don't know you, you must be this visitor I've been hearing so much about. I'm Julia, the Constant's chief historian. It's nice to meet you on this momentous occasion. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? We're the descendants of wealthy elites, intellectuals, artists, scientists, and others who left Earth in 2040 to spread humanity to the stars. The thinking was that Earth's days were numbered for a variety of reasons. Our finder, Rupert Brackenridge, had the foresight to plan for the worst. Thus, he constructed this colony ship to settle what seemed like the most habitable planet we could find, knowing full well it would take generations to reach. We suspected that we may have been the only ones to leave Earth, given that no one else seemed to have the same idea. I'm glad we appeared to be wrong. Well, we launched Tuesday, September 27th, 2140. So, about 190 years now. Would have been longer, but it turns out we have an ace navigator who saved us some time with some tricky maneuvers. ECS stands for Earth Colony Ship. We wanted a fairly inclusive name to represent the planet, and not a particular nation of origin. There was an old colony ship that sailed across the oceans of Earth from a country called England to settle on a new continent. It was called either the Susan or Sarah Constant. No one seems to know for sure, so ours was shortened to just Constant. Ironically enough, that ship also reached what they thought was new land, and found it populated when they arrived. As chief historian, I can tell you a lot, probably. What do you want to know? You know where to find me if you ever want to know more. If you ask around, people will either tell you my job is absolutely critical to the mission, or I just hang out, read, and watch movies. There's more to it than that. Officially, I'm assigned to the role of chief historian. Generations ago, it used to be lawkeeper of humanity, but that seemed a bit too lofty. While I don't think my job is as important as captain, engineering officer, or cultivation manager, it's still vital to our mission. Of course. Everyone was assigned their roles here. We don't choose our roles, since there are only so many of us, and every job is critical. Someone has to prove themselves either exceptionally bad at their job, or exceptionally good at another, in order to be moved. But that rarely happens. Thanks for saying so. Another time, then?
I heard that was smells like a ship. I don't know why. It was pretty cold out. You seem okay.
than I thought you would be.
Miss Julia, I have a question.
Sure. What is it?
If there were animals on Earth, why aren't there any animals here?
Oh. Well, there wasn't enough room on board when our ancestors left Earth. We only had room for people.